Let's do Veronica first. We'll do Betty very quick, and then we'll do Archie and Jughead.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, let me start timing it.
Yeah.
Hey, what is up, everybody? You are listening to another episode of the Netchicks. We are Moll and Liv coming at you with a brand new Riverdale rundown. Pretty intense episode. We're going to get right into it. But before that, just want to say once again, we will talk a little bit more about it at the end of the episode. But for anyone who didn't listen to our main episode, we just obviously want to send out thoughts and prayers to everyone affected by Luke Perry's death. Obviously, it's a big loss for Riverdale in general.
Yeah.
But more than that, for his family, his friends, all that. And obviously, Riverdale dedicated this episode and has announced that all episodes going forward are dedicated to Luke Perry. So that's obviously nice to see.
Yeah. It was a little like, especially this episode, I guess it was a little like heartbreaking because this was like the first time obviously we've seen him since his death. So it was a very good episode, and also it was just that scene in general just really broke my heart like all over again. Yeah. But we are sending our condolences to the Riverdale cast, his family. I know he had 2 children and stuff like that, and a fiance. Everyone was surrounding him when he passed away, so we just want to send our condolences to them as well.
Yeah. So that being said, let's get right into this week's episode. Last week, I think we basically said that everyone was a badass, right? That was our overwhelming opinion, that we pretty much were good with everyone last week. That had some backlash this week, it seems. Veronica, I think we were like, let's go, girl. She was in on it. She was a badass. She was like really getting mobbed up. This week, tons of backlash for that.
It was, but at the same time, I actually liked her more this episode than I did last episode.
I mean, she was scrambling.
She was scrambling, but you know what? I feel like she needed that hit to now. She needed that little hiccup where, you know, she's still a young, like a teenager, and these adults can still take advantage of her in the sense that you know, make the speakeasy as her own, as their own. So I feel like she needed that in order to go on about with her new storyline this season. Does that make any sense?
Dude, I don't know what you were watching. She wasn't likable this episode.
No, I was shocked that I actually liked her this episode.
There was too much. It was too much of her, like, it's so unrealistic.
Oh, the whole thing is unrealistic.
The whole concept of, like, I'm going to hire, problem solved, I'm going to hire these teenage girls. And, like, I'm not necessarily even saying hire them, to me, is the issue. Mrs. Jones, Jughead's mom, I can't think of her name, Gladys. The idea that she would not just fucking bitch slap Toni is insane. Because she would have, if we're being realistic about it. Hiring a bunch of girls, no offense to the female gender, but I just think hiring the pretty poisons to be like, let's put on our leather jackets and that'll scare everybody away is insane.
But they also, like, in the beginning of the episode, also got into, like, this huge fight with the ghoulies. So they kind of have some type of cred.
No, I do get that, but, like, Gladys, her whole thing is that she's the OG badass female serpent, isn't it? Yeah. So for her to not stand up to other female gang members, to me, is a little crazy. The other thing is when Jody questioned the concept of having, like, a secret casino, Veronica didn't come off likable then either. She was just very much like, I'll bat my eyes and then be like, what secret casino? Veronica, get it together, girl. That is so obnoxious. That is the most obnoxious. That is like Archiekins to me. That is what that is her being like, I'm cute and I'll just bat my eyelashes and then everything will go away because I'm pretty and I batted my eyelashes and I'll just make myself seem like I don't know what's going on and I'm incompetent and I'm just like a damsel in distress and then everyone will take pity on me. That is Archie Kidd's Veronica, and that is not the Veronica that I'm a fan of.
No, but I get that. But she still has to have some type of her that we still don't like at all. But I did like her only because I think just now she's getting her own storyline, like further into whatever.
I like
and
the concept of that.
Yeah. And the whole thing with the Pretty Poisons, I have a feeling Gladys didn't bitch slap Toni because then that would obviously make like a bigger altercation between Toni and Gladys. And I think she's gonna do something with.
Oh, she's gonna try and get into Toni's head.
Exactly. So I think that's partly the reason why she didn't do anything.
Really going for Mother of the Year award, I think she's gonna try and really turn Toni further against Jughead and like be in Toni's ear and like try and manipulate Toni to go for a power play. And because I think you can see, even if the Pretty Poisons and the Serpents or whoever, Jughead's gang, the Gargoyles, the Ghoulies, like whoever he's running this time around, even though they're not getting along, you can tell that Toni and Jughead still have this like armistice. It's like,
yeah,
they have friendship, obviously, but like an unspoken agreement that they're looking out for each other, that they're just like, there's something off, but they still do come from the same place, and I think they want to be in the same place again, but they can't right now. I think they definitely have that unspoken understanding, and I think that Gladys is going to try and get in the middle of that.
Yeah, and better yet, she's going to turn Toni farther away from Cheryl after this whole.
Let's talk about that because Toni doesn't need help with that.
Oh yeah, she doesn't, but you know what? Like, I think Gladys is like gonna take her under the wing after they have even more of an altercation. Because obviously we knew that like Cheryl was being like, we haven't noticed it because obviously they probably just didn't show it, but like Cheryl had some type of manipulation over Toni with this whole Pretty Poisons situation.
Listen. Last week we said that it just kind of seems like they're out of the honeymoon phase. There's more conflict. Obviously they're running an organization together because as much as you want to say like she gave it to Toni, Cheryl is obviously first ladying it, if nothing else. And obviously there were some issues like 2 weeks back. I mean, a couple episodes back with the college admissions process and all that. And we kind of just chalked it up to they're out of the honeymoon phase. It really seems like more than that now.
Oh yeah, now they have like internal conflicts that they have to face.
I don't know how they're going to get past it if they keep going the way they're going. They really need to sit down, and Cheryl honestly needs to be like, I am no longer involved with the Pretty Poisons. That's really what needs to happen, and it's just not going to. Because for her to say, like, really for her to threaten this whole concept of where the Pretty Poison's going to meet. I have the pool. They're so excited. I'm going to take away my house as a headquarters. To me, that's one step away of being like, well, where will you sleep, Toni? You know?
Yeah.
Like she's
exactly
getting close to like kind of holding her gifts and her kindness over Toni's head. And that is 2 or 3 steps away from really, I would say, emotional abuse.
I'd say it's a lot closer than.
Yeah, it's getting there.
It's like a slim, like very fine line.
Because it is like right on the cusp of financial abuse.
But again, it is financial abuse because she gave her all that. She gave her that
and now
interview.
It's like
she's
Toni
giving
is
her
so
this
dependent on her. Yeah.
Exactly. So now it is starting to be like a very small step to abuse, which is scary.
It's tough because I love my girl Cheryl.
Exactly.
I'm always surprised to see her reading a book. I don't know why. I just am always shocked. They always have her reading, and I'm always just like, not even on a Kindle, Cheryl? Like, it's just, every time she's holding a book, I'm surprised. I don't know why.
But, like, I feel like that's more Riverdale aesthetic than a Kindle.
I guess, but like, they always have those paid ads and they're like
Yeah.
not subtle. It's like they'll do like Coca-Cola, but oh, you're not on Bumble? Like they have those
Yeah.
like very not subtle ads. I feel like they could do that with like a Google Reader, or I don't think that exists. I think I may just made that up. I don't think
Yeah,
that's a product. But
I don't think it's.
if it was,
Doesn't
they
Google own Kindle?
probably.
I
So,
could be wrong. Do not take me for fact for that. No.
doesn't Amazon? I just bought
Yes,
books
Amazon
today.
does.
I was gonna say I
Amazon.
bought books today and it had like the Kindle option.
Yeah, so it might be Amazon. I mixed up my multi-billion
Got myself a
companies. My
box
bad.
set of Game of Thrones books. So
Uh, I actually have them. I could have just given them
I
to
mean,
you.
it was a fantastic deal. They're paperback, but it's 5 books for $30. It's like $6 a book.
Well,
I
that's
was like,
nice.
cannot pass up. I'm a little nervous that I'm gonna get them and they're gonna be like journals, just like written with like Game of Thrones is good, but like we'll see what happens.
All right.
It was like verified, but whatever. Um, anyway, yeah, Cheryl and Toni, this relationship is just it's not going well. It's not been a good few weeks for LGBTQ characters.
Exactly. And it sucks because Cheryl and Toni have been a couple that people wanted to get together since the beginning of season 2. So when they
Yeah.
got together, it was like, yes, finally, they kind of did the slow burn type of thing. But now that they're going through this shit compared to all the other couples,
Yeah.
what the
Yeah, it
hell?
really and the thing that really sucks is because that was like to me when it started,
Mm-hmm.
like when you can kind of see people being like that would be a good couple, that was like an out there ship, you know what I mean? Like it was like they had barely even interacted and people were like, who'd be cute. It's like, and to be fair, I do also think that applies to like the majority of couples on this show right now,
Oh,
with
yeah.
the exception of Bughead. It does kind of seem like I like all the couples right now for the most part. um but it does kind of seem like the producers and the writers just kind of like scrolled through fan fiction and we're like, what's the most out there couples we can find that we could like plausibly get together?
Yeah. And
That is kind of what it
I
feels like
think,
right now if you're just like looking at like a chart of couples.
yeah. And I said this like before when we talked about the whole Josie and Archie like getting together. Like I remember literally watching an interview from the beginning of season 3 and they asked Ashley Murray about it and she was like so shocked. She's like, Archie? Like he's with I know Veronica and him are going through turmoil, but like that's so out there.
Also, let's not forget that Archie dated Val.
Yeah.
It's all very bizarre. And that Josie was like, Val, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
When they dated.
Exactly.
She's like,
Exactly.
you're wasting your time with this white boy when we're trying to launch our music careers.
Exactly.
That was exactly what happened when Val and Archie dated. So now
Oh, how the
we're,
tables have turned.
which is tough because I love Josie and Archie together.
Same.
But like, we have to take a step back and just kind of be like, what is going on here? We're getting a little bit off, but let's go. Let's just go for it with Toni. Let's not Toni. Kev. Let's talk about Kev. Let's
Yeah, we
talk about
have
the
to.
farm. Let's talk about Betty. Let's get into the farm storyline because Kevin, what the hell's going on, buddy?
Yeah, he's in the farm now, which is
Full
so
fledged
bizarre.
in the
Like full
farm.
fledged, like they
Like 0 to 60, real quick.
I
Snap,
just
blink and you miss it. Kevin's in the farm.
whatever her Edith Edna, whatever her name is, I just really wanted to punch her in the
I
face.
know Evelyn.
Oh, Evelyn.
Is it Evelyn? I have no idea what her name is.
I don't even know what her name is. I think it's Evelyn.
I think it is.
I
I think it's
with
like
an
more
E.
than just an EE. I think it's like an Ev is her name.
Evelyn Ever.
Yeah, I
You're
think.
right. You're right. I just don't like her enough to know her name.
She just has the most punchable face on the
Yes,
planet.
I don't think I never wanted to like hook on her like real quick.
I really think that like I don't know this actress from a hole in the wall. You know what I mean? Like that's not even a phrase. I am all over the place tonight.
Yeah,
Um
same.
but I don't know her from anything else. And like she maybe in real life her face is less punchable, but the way she acts is like also makes her like, her physical appearance more distasteful.
Yeah, I agree.
First of all, she overacts, which we've already talked about, but it's tough in this one. But she always has, like, a stink face.
Oh, always.
Like, it
Always
really
has.
looks like she smelt something bad every time.
Yeah, I
Even when
just don't
Alice
like
is,
her.
like,
I don't
trying
like
on her
her.
dress last episode, she was like, Alice, you are going to be the most beautiful. It's like, what did you smell? Like, what stinks in the Cooper house? Because
Yeah.
you're saying something very nice and positive right now.
Um, so she was the sister, I guess, in she was Ashley in the movie Bad Hair Day. Why does that sound so familiar?
Bad Hair Day.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
She was also in Orphan Black.
Oh, I definitely didn't watch that because I'm scared of
Yeah,
that.
scared of that. Yeah,
All
no, she
things
was
scary. That someone could come up to me right now and be like, Orphan Black, what a great movie musical about finding love. And I'd be like, well, the title sounds scary, so I will
yeah.
not be watching that.
I was
I
like,
don't
I
even know. I couldn't tell you anything about that movie. So that
it's
you
not a
may as
movie,
well
it's
just
it's a
said,
TV show.
well, that's even worse. You could have just said, oh, you know what you know her from? That time that they pulled her out of a ditch. And I'd be like, yeah, that makes more sense to me than you being like, you know her from Orphan Black.
Well, yeah, no, but that's like the first thing, and I was like, yeah. And like the movie Bad Hair Day, it sounds familiar, but I'm actually it was a
I don't
Disney
know.
Channel movie.
Was
All right,
it?
cool.
With
Yeah,
who?
but it was after us.
With who was in it?
Uh, Laura Morano,
Who
and
was Laura Morano?
she's that girl from Austin and Alley, isn't she? Yeah, she's that girl from Austin and Alley.
Like
She's
the
Alley.
she's
She's Alley.
Allie?
Yeah.
All right, so clearly things are not
It's like
clicking.
way, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But like the picture that they show her, like she looks like very pretty in. So I guess
Okay.
it's just the way
So
they
it's
make
really
the show.
just this. I'm
Yeah.
excited for them. I hope when Chad Michael Murray graces the scene of Riverdale,
Yes.
I hope I'm disgusted by him.
Same.
Because
They.
then I will know for a fact that it's really just the character because
Oh
I
yeah.
know that Chad Michael Murray is not disgusting.
Yeah, and he's like attractive now. I thought he would be like, you know how like sometimes they aren't as attractive as they used to be. No, he's very attractive now. Like he's like daddy.
Mhm.
He is a
That
daddy.
was so awkward. It's
Was-
like
you like your facial expression. You're like,
oh my god.
trying to be comfortable, but you weren't comfortable with that.
I don't know what just came out of my mouth, but that was tough.
Was
Wow.
yeah, but
Okay.
he's attractive now, so we'll figure it out when he gets on, which I think should be soon because they announced him playing it after he did a couple scenes.
Yeah, but they also announced it after they announced Heather's, right?
Yeah, it was like not even like a
That's
couple.
really bugging me. Every time I see like the next week on Riverdale, I'm like, where the fuck is Heather's? When is Heather's happening?
I think it's gonna be well, like last year it was like after St. Patrick's Day. I know it was like the week after St. Patrick's Day, right? And then there was like a month long hiatus.
I don't know, man. As much as I'm like, I hate musical episodes, now that I know when is happening, I just need
Yeah.
it to happen already.
Yeah, exactly. I think it
Anyway, I guess the whole point of this conversation was that Tony's in the I keep fucking saying Toni. Toni is not in the farm. Kevin is in the farm. Josie's very concerned, and Betty is getting the shit blackmailed out of her, which is
yeah,
tough.
which
That's
is
tough.
so tough considering the fact that the farm is this whole thing. Oh, we will never harm you, no matter what. But then, uh, ever never fucking Evelyn goes, we know everything. Like, so if you write this story about us, we're gonna tell everyone. Like, we're gonna get you in trouble. We're gonna get Jughead in trouble. You're gonna get your mom in trouble, who's in the farm and baptized,
Yeah.
and we're gonna get the sheriff in trouble because you guys all work together to bury this body.
It's like, Kevin, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
Kevin
you want to
Knox.
say whatever you want to say about Evelyn. Her and Betty have never gotten along. For Kevin to be like, let me blackmail Betty is insane. Second of
Yes.
all, I don't know, because I feel like, are they going to do that even if she just goes to Alice and says like, you'll never guess what happened?
Yeah.
Because I do think, I don't know though, if she went to Alice and was like, Evelyn just threatened to out you, I don't know if Alice would even believe it, or if she would
No,
just
she'd be
spin
like,
zone
no,
it in
you're
her
kidding.
head. Yeah, she'd be like, you must have misunderstood. She would spin zone it in her head, or be like, yeah, that's the right thing to do. Maybe I'll just go to the police. Oh wait, it's my
Yeah.
boyfriend. Are they still together, by the way? I don't know. Nobody
Probably
fucking knows
not.
what's going on.
Probably not. Ever since like Gladys is in town, they're probably like either on the low, like hooking up on the low, because I think they're still married, aren't they? Gladys and
I don't
Jughead.
know. I have no idea. I think she's still married
Yeah.
to Hal.
Yeah, but we know that ship has sailed.
Yeah, I know, but they haven't got divorced, I don't think. Um, like I really thought that that was done for whatever reason, just because like they hadn't really been interacting until then when Alice was like, "Oh, I'm interviewing FP because he's the new sheriff." And they were like in cahoots. I was like, "Oh, is that
Yeah.
still going on?" Every now and then that like pops up and I'm like, "Oh, is that still a thing?" So I don't know. This is weird. The other thing is, do you think what the fuck, Betty? Betty
Yeah.
just set fire to the house?
She pulled a Cheryl move.
Was she trying to get rid of something in particular? Or was she just like, let me just burn this fucking house down?
Maybe. I think after that whole situation with Kevin and Everlyn, there could still be prints on the house of that guy, of whoever they
That's what
killed.
I'm thinking. Like, is there some kind of evidence
Yeah, so
in
maybe
the
if,
house?
yeah, or some other evidence that Alice could have told them and they could use that as blackmail. She probably just burned the whole house down. Just being like, fuck it, if I can't live in it,
Or do you think
no.
she's like, well, the sale isn't final. They won't go through with the sale for a burnt down house. At least we'll still have the property. Or like they'll salvage the house so that we can like live in it, but it'll be kind of burnt. I don't know. Like it's very confusing. We need more answers next week.
Yeah, no, we definitely need more answers. Obviously, they're gonna talk about it because this is like the cliffhanger. But no, I do have it, but I do think it has to do with the whole blackmail thing
I think so too,
because
but I don't know how. Like I don't know what it would
yeah,
be.
exactly. The only like I said, like the only thing I think of is they can't blackmail if they don't have evidence.
No, I know, but yeah, I don't know. I
And
also think she's an idiot. She just at this point needs to move in with the Andrews.
yeah, she should. Like,
Like you're just moving right next door. I
and
get it's like your house, but at the same time, it's like you can't be with them anymore. Even to move in with Veronica.
yeah,
I know you don't necessarily want to be with her parents, but neither is Veronica.
yeah,
Move
and
with
even with
Veronica.
like everyone was like, oh, Jughead, like, oh, that's a cramped
That
house. You know,
trailer
that's
is
a lot of
cramped
drama.
as it is. Yeah.
That's a lot of drama. I think you should just stay with the. You're right. You should stay with the Andrews. I think that's the best bet because there really isn't that much drama with them.
And she's already so close to Fred.
Yeah.
So I really do think Fred looks at her like another daughter. We
Yeah.
don't really see those interactions a lot, and unfortunately, that's not going to get written in or anything. But
Yeah.
they're, I, yeah, I really, the few interactions we have had, they're so, it's so underlying like family tones between the two of them that
Yeah.
I do think it would be perfect for her to just move in with them. On that note, let's move on to Archie and Jughead
Yes.
because we're not going to get any more answers no matter how long we talk about Betty for.
Yeah.
Um, Archie, wow. I gasped when you turn
Yeah.
around and what's his name? Ricky?
Yeah.
Ricky was standing there with the knife. I was just like, oh, has a pattern of violent behavior and self-harm. Maybe he's off his meds. I don't know. Then he's like, this is the only way the gargoyles will let me play. I audibly gasped.
Yeah.
I was like,
I because okay, the whole situation with the kid. I did not think anything of like the whole twist of him being Joaquin's brother. I was not expecting that. For
I
some
was kind of
reason,
like, that doesn't make sense.
it
And like,
doesn't.
I just was kind of like, why is that relevant? I was like, that doesn't add or take away from the story
I
at all.
think it does because in this that
I
specific one,
think
it
down
like
the road it will.
Yeah, because his brother didn't get to sacrifice Archie. Archie didn't die. So he was like, now I have to because he's dead.
That's
I have
true.
to kill Archie. Yeah.
Yeah. I also think maybe down the line it'll be like, we wronged your brother. Like,
Yeah.
this is your blood right. Be a serpent. He might be in the story for longer than we're thinking short term.
Yeah.
So the Joaquin twist might come into it. But as of right now, I don't know. It really, that threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
But Josie and Archie finding him, I was like, Josie, you're the girl. You are the girl. Like, I was watching that scene and I was like, they could have written the same dialogue for Veronica and I would have hated it.
Yeah.
But because Josie was delivering it, I was like, oh my God, look at her. She's just so warm and
Yeah. So
good.
loving.
Yeah,
I think
and
like
like
she
good at
found this.
approaching things.
Yeah.
I just like, she's it for, and I'm like so frustrated because I know that she's not long for Riverdale because let's not kid ourselves. The show's going to get picked up,
Oh yeah. Because
but
now Greg Berlanti has more time on his hands because Arrow is going to be on its last season. So now
yeah,
he wants to. He said that we are working long term to have all DC and CW have a relationship for many years to come. So this is just another, because Katy Keene, Archie Comics is part of DC,
yeah.
just adding on more and more. So yeah, it's definitely get picked up. I was
Josie
talking.
is not long for Riverdale, but it's a shame because she's perfect for Archie.
She is. My only issue with Katy Keene and Riverdale is they're going to use the same crew. So they're
Yeah.
going to have to film at different times.
Well, but did they
Because that's
use,
what they do with Sabrina.
I know, but I'm just even thinking about the CW in general. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Did they use the same crew for the originals and Vampire Diaries? I don't know.
They
So
might have.
that's my thing. I just don't know because those shows were on at the same time.
Yeah.
They were
Well,
not staggered at all.
yeah, so
So
I think, yeah, they probably might do half and half. I don't know.
yeah,
Whoever they might bring on people, they might not. Whatever's the case. But again, like every time I see Josie on my screen, I just get so upset because she's not going to be there.
yeah. And it's like I like her more and more each time. So
Yes.
it's like the only time I didn't like her was when she bought Veronica's whole thing about I'll bat my eyelashes and she started clapping. But I was like,
Yeah.
it's fine. She works there. She's got to do what she's got to do.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm the whole thing with like Josie and her dialogue, like you said, oh, if it was Veronica. Here's the thing though. Veronica wouldn't have said that
She
in
might
much of
have
like
though. I could,
Veronica character.
yeah, but I could envision her saying it and I would have been bothered by it. I just know that.
You
You know what
could,
I mean?
but
Like,
like I feel like Veronica wouldn't be the type to actually like approach children. I feel
I
like
mean,
she
if you
hasn't done
just
that.
stumble upon a kid in like a bunker or wherever the hell he was, like, you're not going to be like, oh, weird kid, what's for dinner?
Yeah.
Like, that's just not going to happen. So,
Yeah.
whatever. Um, and then obviously Jughead is dealing with some shit on top
Oh,
of
deep
Archie
shit.
dealing with some shit. So the two of them are in it. And it's tough because Veronica's problems just seem so small compared to everyone else's. Honestly,
Yeah.
not Archie's. Jughead's problems do also seem kind of small. Obviously, his buddies and gang members are
All
being
fighting with
hung
each other.
from staircases
Yeah.
and potentially getting their neck broken, but
Getting killed.
yeah,
We
that's
love that.
tough. But I do think the farm and people coming for your neck because you were the Red Paladin, maybe that's tougher. Just that's my personal opinion. I'm not an
Hmm.
expert in any way, but I do think maybe cults and cults basically, they're both
Yeah.
cults coming after you. Those are, I do think, harder than
Just a
some
little.
petty ass gang drama,
Yeah.
but that's just my take, really. And there's
Yeah.
nothing we can do to prove that I'm right. So we'll
Yeah.
just have to take the writer's word for it that they're all stressed. But again, just my personal opinion. I'm not an expert or a professional in any way,
Yeah.
but like, I think it might be harder when 12-year-olds that you take into your home are
Try to
out,
murder you.
are trying to murder you. Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
and again, we're not experts. We don't
We're
know.
we're not experts. We're not. We're just viewers. We're just Riverdale viewers. We're
We
just
don't
fans.
know. We're
So
not
we don't
sure.
know.
We're not sure. We've
Listen,
never been in these situations.
yeah. Clearly, we've never been in these
Yeah.
situations.
So Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I have to say about that.
yeah. I'm just like confused about how for the long run he decided for the gang to team up with Riverdale Police.
It's so bizarre when they keep trying to legitimize these gangs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess in real life, I don't know a lot about gangs, but aren't like gangs just like modern day mobs, right? Kind
Yeah.
of like they're very
I mean,
similar.
there still are mobs. It's just like gangs
No,
are
I
kind of like
it's yeah.
some. I think like gangs. I think were originally formed to be like the lower ends to help the mobs. They
Yeah,
were like
no, I
the
agree.
runners.
If can't recommend it enough. Inside the American Mob. It's a docu-series. It's a six-part documentary on Netflix. It's the greatest thing that has ever come out of Netflix, Inside the American Mob. Um in like the ninth not the ninth, like the fifth or sixth episode, they talk about like the 90s era mob, and that they talk a lot about like the Sixth Street Crew and like
Yeah.
the Junction Gang and that kind of shit, like the little like crews and gangs within the bigger families. And I do think that's how like gangs kind of
Hmm.
started. Um, but obviously the mob for years and years has had people on the inside
Oh yeah.
in the police department specifically. Um, so this is interesting, but
Yeah.
it's not that. That's really not what it is.
Yeah,
It's
because
really just them
FP,
trying to be like, oh,
we're gonna be good now.
let's go street, like let's go on like the right path. I'm just coming up with phrases that don't exist all
Yeah.
day. Let's go street, I think is
Let's
the
go street.
opposite of what I'm
Yeah,
trying to
exactly.
say.
I was gonna say like that's kind of the opposite. Let's go street, as in like
Like let's
let's
go like
deal
the
drugs.
straight and
Like
narrow, let's
yeah,
be legitimate. That's really what they're trying to do. Not
yeah,
go street. Street would be when they were just terrorizing the drive-in. That's really what being street is, I
yeah,
would say. Um wow, I'm like this is a tough episode for me. Which is good because we're wrapping up. But
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. It's very bizarre that they keep trying to make these gangs like real people.
yeah. I just like I don't get it. I really
I'm
don't.
not gang shaming. I'm really not.
No, we're listen. We in this house we don't shame gangs. We're all for them. It's just
Well, I wouldn't say that.
I mean certain gangs.
I would
We
say
don't
I'm
shame the
indifferent
surface in that.
towards gangs. They haven't affected me. Again, I'm no expert. Gangs
Like,
haven't affected my life. I think if they had, I would be anti-gang, but I'm not in the position to do so. I understand. Sometimes, you got to do what you got to do. I
yeah, you
get
gotta do
that.
what you gotta do to put
But
food on the table. You know.
I would not say I'm all for gangs. I do want that on the record.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not shaming. I'm not
No,
gang
yeah.
shaming.
Listen, I'm not trying to shame. I don't like us. I'm not a
Listen, I
gang
look good in blue, I
stanner.
look good in red. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, like I
So
don't stand gangs. I respect them. I should say
I
respect it.
do stand the mob. I stand
Yes,
with the mob,
you.
and I am a fan of the mob. I want that on the record. But as far as gangs go, I'll
Gangs,
take them or leave them. Like I said, look good in
yeah,
blue, look good in red. What are you gonna do?
yeah,
So I'm
exactly.
patriotic as hell.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh,
We have to
okay,
finish this episode because
yeah.
it's just
But
not going well.
I did have a question for you now because I know we talked about this in the beginning. We said that Fred Andrews was in this episode.
Yes.
Now, obviously, he was in the middle of Phil. Well, he actually no, I don't think he was. He was at home when he had the stroke. Like he was in California.
Yeah.
What I hate saying this because now he recently passed away. Like, what do you think Riverdale's going to do now? Like, are they going to recast him or are they going to kill off his
No, I don't
character
think they can recast him because I think you can get away with recasting
in season one?
in season one
Yeah,
exclusively, or like the from season one to the premiere of season two. That's it.
yeah.
Or if you have a character who's like in season one, as in then is like in season eight, like
Yeah.
you can't have
That's
someone
like,
who's now 3 seasons in.
yeah, and that's what they did with
Like they
JT
could recast
Austin.
Molly Ringwald. They could do that if they needed to.
Yeah,
I think they can't recast Fred
they can't
Andrews.
recast Fred. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know because for Jake T. Austin when he was on the Fosters, he got recasted in the middle of season three,
that's
and then
insane.
didn't come back until season four. And guess who he came back? It was Noah Centineo.
I know, we've talked about this. That's insane.
So like that's just, I feel like because he was a main character, that's like odd.
I also think it's different. Jake T. Austin's alive. You know what I mean? That's different.
Yes.
I think it would be so disrespectful to recast, first of all.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think the move
think
really is to go like a Glee route. You know,
mm-hmm.
they were like, yeah, Finn is dead. Corey Monteith has passed away. Finn died.
Yeah.
I think that's what you have to do. I don't know how they're going to do it. And I think it has to be done respectfully and all that. Because again, it's different when you say Charlie Sheen got hit by a train on 2.5 Men, because Charlie Sheen is still alive. You know, like killing characters off when the actors are still alive is very different than when an actor passes away.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. I think you got to go to the Glee route, not necessarily a full tribute episode, but like you do have to acknowledge it. I would say there should be some sort of funeral or something.
Yeah.
Maybe even if like we open on a scene of a fire and then it's like he died in a fire, you know what I mean? But then have like the appropriate response.
And also like, what's going to happen with Archie though? Like, is Molly Ringwald going to come back?
I don't know.
Like, that's what, like, I have so many questions over like how they're gonna.
I wonder if, well, because I don't know their financial state, that we don't really discuss their tax returns.
Yeah.
Show, but if Archie finds himself in a position to keep the house, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
But if there's like a lot of debt, a lot of money, like
also Andrew's construction.
That's true too. But I'm just saying, if they still owe a lot on the house, they'll probably sell it. In which case I don't know what Archie would do. But if he's in a position to keep the house, I think things are very different. I think he just kind of lives on his own.
Yeah.
A la Vampire Diaries, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
We're gonna see what happens. But
yeah.
So
again, I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's really all we could talk about, because I wasn't really excited for the promo. Usually we get like, oh, this is going to happen next week.
So underwhelming. I think the real big pull is that it looks like maybe Cheryl and Toni will make up. I don't think they're going to make up. I think they're going to like have a lot of sex and then break up.
Yes, exactly.
But we'll see what happens. But for right now, that's going to be it for us. Tune in next week, Wednesday and Friday. We're really trying to get people to listen to both episodes, not one or the other. It's going to be Heavy Bachelor on Wednesday. We will do Captain Marvel on Wednesday, but we'll be back here on Friday for some Riverdale talk. So
so
Olivia,
thank you so much for listening, and we'll actually see you next week. So bye.